full effect, and we got you covered. We got our reactions and breakdowns from each series as it hits its halfway point. Stay tuned on the Pick and Roll Podcast. We good?
You good?
Yeah, we're good. All right.
We're good.
We're good, y'all. Welcome back to the Pick and Roll Podcast. My name is Cole Ferrer, joined alongside my co-host, Zach DeRosic. We here. It's middle of the playoffs, first round. My Lakers, decent showing. I don't want to say anything about your Spurs, but hey, your draft's looking pretty good soon. Lowry's going to come up soon. Hope y'all get a pick in that one.
We're getting 2 lottery picks. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. This is a great draft class. We got 2 lottery picks, so I can only be so happy, you know.
Yeah, so we all good. It's Friday. We apologize. No episode yesterday. We were busy. NFL draft. Zach had work. I had schoolwork to do. But today, it feels like it's going to be a good day, man.
It will be a great day. It'll be a great day.
We got intro basketball tonight. If we win one, we make playoffs. We got 2 games. Win 1 out of 2, we make playoffs. Oh, and our rivals lost 2 last night. You know, if you're listening to this, you know who you are. Our rivals lost 2 of their games last night. Yeah, so it's going to be a good day today, hopefully.
It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day.
Anyways, we got playoff talk for y'all, and then we're going to do some drafting. We haven't done that in a while, but in fact, today's draft is going to be a little bit of an interesting one. But today is definitely going to be a shorter episode than our regular 45-minute to an hour-long episodes that we usually do.
Only really got 6 games to cover. We didn't miss much.
Games. Yeah, we're covering some games kind of in the midst of home court transition right now. So, yeah, we're going to be rocking with you for a little short time today. Probably about 30 minutes, I'd say, right? 30-some minutes. Sounds about right. Yeah, but last night, 3 games around the NBA to cover for. Starting off with we'll start with a blowout win. The Nuggets and the Clippers, or Clippers over Nuggets at least. Just an absolute beatdown by the Clippers, 117-83. What did you just immediate takeaways from that? Have time to think about it.
I picked the Clippers to win this series, and so far they've given me no reason to doubt that. Every single game that's been played, they've looked like the better team than the Nuggets. And I don't trust this Nuggets roster going forward. Kawhi's looking like Kawhi, he's looking like the multiple-time DPOY winner. He's looking like the absurdly good playoff shot maker that he's always been. Mm-hmm. I trust this Clipper squad to close this out.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't personally get to watch the game in full, but I did watch highlights of it. And one of the things that I want to touch on is we talked about it in our couple previous episodes where when it gets back to LA and they have a split in the series after going 1-1 in Denver, how is Intuit Dome going to react or perform as a playoff atmosphere in their first playoff series or playoff games in Inglewood? And they showed out. That place was bumping. And then just as a player standpoint, when your crowd and your fans are getting into it, then obviously you get more momentum and energy and going, and the juices are flowing. And they ballooned that lead to about 20 within 3 minutes of the second quarter. So shout out to them, the fans in LA. I always thought the Clippers fans were some plastic ass fans, but they showed up. Obviously, it's a new arena. And yeah, they've obviously Jokic's going to get his own. He's had a triple double twice in this series, and they've both been in the losses. So obviously Jokic's going to get his own, but they've been holding his own on defense, holding players like Jamal Murray. He hasn't been showing up a lot. Aaron Gordon hasn't been performing a lot. NPJ hasn't been performing a lot. Christian Brown hasn't stepped up like the player he should be. Really, their second best player in the series has been Russell Westbrook, which is kind of interesting to say.
It really has been, and I don't like the roster construction at all. As I said, whenever we were talking about Mike Malone being fired, I think they scapegoated the wrong guy. I think it should have just been Calvin Booth getting fired, and I don't like this roster construction at all. They're doing a great disservice to one of the players who's having one of the greatest offensive peaks of all time in Nikola Jokic, and they should be in this series with a player like that, but they're not because the roster is so bad around him.
Mm-hmm. Just going back to the Clippers side, you had obviously some concerns about Kawhi's health. I feel like I went for everybody, but you knew James Harden was going to be a bucket in this series, in these playoffs as well. Guys like Ivica Zubac, who, obviously there's no guy in the league that's going to stop Jokic, But there's definitely guys that can. Is that Rich? Hi, Rich. Hi, TJ. Sorry, a little bit of a pause right there. But I mean, obviously, Jokic isn't a guy that anybody can stop in the league. But Ivica Zubac for the Clippers is a guy that one of the guys in the league that you want to match up against Jokic pretty well. And he's done his own. He's
Yeah,
obviously again Jokic's going to get his triple double every night, but Zubac has been active in passing lanes, trying to deny guys like Jamal Murray from getting the ball. And obviously on those screens that they set, the double screens for Jokic they set, he's been doing really well in drop coverage and limiting what Jokic can do in playmaking ability. And I think that's been really key for the Clippers in turning the series around and giving them a 2-1 advantage in this going through into game 4.
yeah. Well, Jokic has had some pretty great stat lines throughout this series. He hasn't necessarily looked the greatest. He hasn't looked like his usual self, and I think that's just a great job. That's more of showing on the great job of the Clippers defense of Ivica Zubac, of Derek Jones Jr. I mean, he's not
Yeah.
directly guarding Jokic, but Chris Dunn. Obviously, you got Kawhi in there. But that Clippers squad has somebody who can match up against everybody. I mean, they even have Ben Simmons coming off the bench for them. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that squad's special.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're just so dynamic. I mean, Kawhi is one of the best two-way players probably of all time, in my opinion. Like,
Oh, he has
no
to
doubt
be of all
about it.
time.
Yeah, so you already know he's going to give you a bucket and play good defense for you. But then you have your offensive guys in James Harden and Norman Powell. You have those guys set, and then you're like, oh, okay, now that they're so offensive loaded, how much are they going to play defense? But you guys have, again, you said it, like Chris Dunn, one of the best defensive players in the league, I think, and one of the best wings defensively in the league. He's so active and he's really revitalized his career, and I love to see it. I was a big Chris Dunn guy for a while when he was in Chicago and all those times. He just never had a right situation. Now he's in the Clippers organization, which emphasizes defense a lot. I like it for him, and I'm happy to see him doing well. And I have no doubt in my mind that the Clippers are going to go back to Denver with the 3-1 series lead.
Yeah, and I've been thinking about it. You know how many years we've been waiting for the Clippers to make a breakthrough in the playoffs to kind of get a break. How many years we waited for them to get healthy, and it's just I don't want to jinx anything. I mean, knock on table, but like,
Yeah,
could this be like really the year, the time they break through? And
exactly.
how do you gotta feel if you're PG, bro? How do you gotta feel
Yeah,
if you're
bad.
PG? I mean,
Yeah,
this squad is finally getting a chance. They're finally, making it out of a first round. They're finally looking to be somewhat healthy, and
man.
it's the first season without you. So I mean,
If PG was here, this team might be one of the best in the West. They definitely are.
are we talking last year? Are we talking last year PG or this year PG?
Well, I feel like if PG like stayed, he wouldn't have been this year PG. You know what I mean? Obviously, injuries,
Jeez, zone. I mean, injuries are one thing. Injuries are one
yeah,
thing, but
but it's obviously like something that you can add to it on the offensive side of the ball because their defense is winning this series for them. I mean,
he's also going to get better. He's also going to get better looks playing next to an all-time offensive engine in James Harden.
yeah,
So
exactly. The system,
the game would be a whole lot easier for him if he was
yeah,
on the Clippers this year. Just to
uh,
say that.
yeah, it's interesting. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think the Clippers are probably the second best team right now based off how they're playing in the West, and I think obviously OKC's the best. We'll talk about them in a little bit, but based off just how well the Clippers are playing, how well their defensive energy is, and how well they are shooting the basketball. Guys like Nick Batum, he made like what 4 or 5 threes last night, and people have been clowning him for years. But Batum is a bucket getter, and he will shoot the lights out when you give him the chance. And I mean, the Nuggets defense isn't closing out on him, and he's taking advantage of them. And he's torching them right now. And then obviously guys like Norman Powell like are showing up, and just the dynamic of the offensive production and the defensive energy combined. There's only one team in the West that I like beating them. It's the OKC Thunder. And if
It's unfortunate because that's who they would match up against next round if they made
yeah,
it through here.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like I'll talk about this in a little bit. Based on how the Thunder are playing, though, like on how Shea isn't performing up to his standards, the Clippers could take a game or two out of them, maybe two. Honestly, I would not be like against that, or I'd probably bet on that. But
I would have picked the Clippers to win, but maybe they could steal a game, maybe they could steal two games.
yeah, exactly.
And
So
it all depends on how Shea's playing because right now he hasn't been there, and I feel like that's why the Thunder haven't really been able to take it to the next level. Like more so last night. Obviously, the first two games were big blowouts, but
Yeah.
Last night the Thunder needed Shea, and he didn't really step up. It was more so Chet in the second half, followed by Alex Caruso getting some big steals and big buckets down the stretch.
Yeah, and that'll shift our attention to that game of the Grizzlies and the Thunder. I mean, that game was the Grizzlies had a 29-point lead, one of the best comebacks in NBA playoff history, down 29. Obviously, the Grizzlies lost Ja Morant to that injury, which we'll talk about in a second. I know there's different opinions going around with that one, but I mean, just an overall great defensive effort by the Thunder to keep themselves in that game, down 29. You said it. Chet Holmgren led it with, I mean, he had buckets after buckets in the second half, and then Caruso had a million deflections in that game to get them back in it. So, I mean, what are your thoughts based just on that immediate reaction? Shea's not performing that well, but you said it earlier when we were off air. Just it goes to show how the depth of the Thunder is really key to their success.
I mean, yeah, that's where like I feel like people who I talked to sort of said I was overreacting, labeling the Thunder as the best team in the league in the offseason as soon as they swung that Alex Caruso deal. But I'm still so serious. Alex Caruso is such a difference maker, and he has so much depth. He has so much differential for the Thunder squad, and it's really showing down the stretch. I mean, he's shown it all year, but it's really showing down the stretch, especially during last night's game when he sort of took over there at the end, getting steals, poking balls free. I mean, he was all over the place last night.
Yeah, and then down the stretch, obviously, Memphis was down by 3, and they had a chance to tie the game, and Caruso got in there, deflected the ball away from Desmond Bane, and kind of put it to an end. But I want to shift our focus to a play that happened in the middle of the second quarter when Scottie Pippen Jr. got a steal through a passing lane, just jumped the pass, broke out. Lou Dort was trailing him, and then Ja Morant was obviously trailing the play too. Scottie Pippen Jr. bounced the ball behind his back, kind of just like gave it to Ja to go to work, I guess, make a move, get a bucket, and Lou Dort slipped. Obviously unfortunate, went into Ja, and then Ja landed on his kind of like the left side of his hip area on his back, kind of. And then he's out for game 4 now. And obviously with Memphis down 3-0, don't think anybody picked Memphis to win the series, but that's just a big blow. And what are your thoughts on that play alone?
I mean, I don't think it was a dirty play from Lou Dort. I know some people are saying online, but I feel like that was more of just circumstance. I think it was unfortunate. Lou Dort obviously slipped turning around, and I think it's unfortunate. I don't think anything was intentional there.
Yeah, definitely. And like kind of going towards game 4, which is tomorrow, like, I mean, the Grizzlies are already down 3-0. No team in NBA history has come down from a 3-0 deficit in playoff history. Obviously, the Grizzlies weren't really kind of like in it, but then obviously, like, it goes back to show like how much Shea underperforming is kind of going to hinder the Thunder after this series, because with Ja Morant being injured, I don't think. Sorry, let me rephrase this. If Ja Morant didn't get injured in that game, I think Memphis wins that game 3. I think that's what happens, at least. So I think him going out, I don't know. It's just giving me a weird vibe with like the Thunder right now. Obviously, I think they're still the team to beat in the West, but if they get out of the series and then the Clippers also get out of their series, it's going to be an interesting second round matchup between the Thunder and the Clippers with Shea performing at his level right now.
I mean, yeah, it's just I think Shea's going to step it up eventually in this playoffs, but before the playoffs, people were talking about like who has the most to lose this playoffs, whose legacy is on the line the most. I saw people saying like Kawhi Leonard or Jason Tatum. Like, no, those guys already had their legacy set. I think the guy with the most to lose this playoffs, the most to prove, is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, he's going to win MVP, no doubt about it this year. But can he do it in the playoffs? He's been there a few times, and he's shown some flashes in the playoffs. Obviously, he caught his big break in the playoffs with the Clippers, but I'm looking for Shea to step up and do more and prove that he's an all-time great. I mean, obviously we know in the regular season one of the greatest scoring. He's had some of the greatest scoring seasons we've ever seen, and I don't want to underestimate that. But in the playoffs, we got to see some more consistent production. Like obviously, I don't want to compare him to Luka because Luka's an all-time anomaly, but Luka is the all-time leading playoff scorer. He's just he's that absurd. Yeah. Now, could Shea kind of raise it to him? Can Shea raise the bar in the playoffs? That's what I'm looking to see from Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he averaged, 32, 33 points a game this year. And now
Yeah.
his numbers right now are in this series alone through 3 games are 24, 5, and 6. I mean, just going from the best scoring season of all time, like one of the best of all time, to dropping 7 points per game to 24, 7 or 8 points per game to 24 points a game in the series. I mean, that's definitely a level of concern that you have to go into. But obviously, Shea is that guy. He has that it factor. He's like that. So I don't see him having this like kind of like low level drop off for the whole playoffs. But I mean, he's got to get it together because we just talked about it like not even too long ago. I mean, that Clippers defense is going to be ready, and they have a bunch of wing guys like Chris Dunn and Derrick Jones Jr. and Kawhi Leonard who are going to be switching on to him constantly in that series. If that's what happens in that second round, that's the matchup that they get, and he's got to be able to get his own. I mean, this is something that kind of goes under the radar, but if you're watching the games, every time there's a foul, every time he's on the floor and there's like a foul called or like a dead ball, he always gets the ball and like shoots a three, just like make sure he's got his like rhythm still. Every time I've seen him do it, he's missed his shot, which is interesting. Like just think of like he's in his head right now about like, oh, I'm not performing like I should be, and we should be taking a commanding 3-0 lead, but like even more commanding, not just winning by game 3 by 6 points because their star player got injured. Like I should be taking control of the series. I should be averaging closer to 30 points a game, not 24 and a half. So I think he's going to pick it up, but it's just something to keep your eye on too. I mean,
Yeah.
because you're going to have to go against a feisty Clippers team, and then past that, I mean, who knows?
I trust Shea too much. I mean, his game translates really well to the playoffs. The amount that he gets to the line, the amount of shots at the rim that he gets. I think this is just a slump. I think he'll get through it, and I think he'll show how great of a player he is in later rounds.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, but then again, we talked about it just a little bit ago, how deep this OKC team is, where your best players who was averaging 30 in the regular season can only average 24, and you're still winning these games. And obviously, that goes to the defensive side of the ball with how gritted they are with Alex Caruso, how much of a needle mover he is. But then obviously your two big lineup with Chet and Isaiah Hartenstein, and then your two other guys with Jalen Williams and Lou Dort. It's just all around team effort, and that's why the Thunder are still the team to beat in the West.
Oh,
That's
absolutely. They've looked every part of it too. I mean, we saw Chet step up last night too. I mean, he had 1 point. He had 1 point in the first half, and he finished the second half with like 25. I want to say. I mean,
Yeah.
he had the game tying three down the stretch in the fourth. I mean, Chet was so huge for the Thunder down the stretch, and that just shows you it could be anybody on any given night. It could be anybody to step up for that squad. It could be Shea. It could be Chet. It could be J Dub. I mean, this Thunder squad's loaded, and I don't want to underemphasize that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you just look at the past three or something champions. It's not one guy winning the game constantly for you. I mean, the best guy on the Celtics is Jason Tatum, but Jaylen Brown won Finals MVP last year. So you have to have that kind of system where any guy can win you a game on any night. And obviously, the Thunder have Shea. They have a guy like Chet who just showed he can show up in the playoffs like that. J Dub is a little bit of a sneaky one, but I mean, obviously he can get you a bucket when you need it. I mean, just like the past recent champions, the Nuggets in 2023 had Jokic and Jamal Murray who were performing at an all-time level that series. Before that was the Warriors with Curry, and Jordan Poole was playing really good at that point. So you have to have not just one guy who can win you a game. It has to be multiple guys, and that's what makes this team so scary.
Yeah, and I think that just kind of shows the evolution of the NBA. I mean, we're moving away from a big three era. Shout out the Suns for ruining that for everybody, but it shows there's a new level of team building. There's a new type of team building, and it's building out through the bench. It's building around your 2, 3 star. Like you got 2 star players really. Then you got a good player, and then you got a bunch of great bench players. Like I mean, you look at these the big three of the NBA right now. Really, the Celtics, the Cavs, and the Thunder. They are all built very similarly. They all have a lead guard or a lead wing who could lead them. They all have a stretch big to close out their lineup. I mean, they all have an elite rim protecting big, and they all have elite benches. I mean, it's very similar to how roster construction is looking at nowadays.
Yeah, and then obviously one of the bigger things that the Thunder showcased a lot through those three teams is their chemistry. They've been together for a while now. They know how to play with each other, and they know the system that they're in. Mark Dagnall's done a good job. Obviously, Kenny Atkinson's kind of new to that system, but they've been playing together for so long that they kind of just have that chemistry built around them. And then the Celtics obviously just won the title last year, and they have chemistry with how they can go about things and different things. Why am I blanking on the name of their coach? Am I tweaking?
Joe Mazzulla.
Yeah, Joe Mazzulla. And he's been there for a couple years now, so just kind of that chemistry building that you see, and then that's going to bring me to our next game that we're going to talk about, the Knicks and Pistons, where the Knicks kind of have that chemistry, and they've been together for a while now, but they're kind of a little bit of like on an edge team right now. Obviously, they retook home court advantage with the win last night against the Pistons, but what are your just reactions based off those last two games, because we didn't talk about them prior?
I mean, I feel like every game in this series, I feel like I didn't get to watch much of Game 3. I'll be the first one to admit that. But just put it out there. I didn't get to watch. The NFL draft was on. I had work, a lot going on. I didn't really get to watch the game, and I'm kind of bummed about it because it seemed like it was a very good game from everyone that I heard, everywhere that I heard. But the first two games of that series, I was really looking at the Pistons to maybe take this series just because I think in both games, obviously the Knicks had that 20-point comeback in Game 1, but I think the Pistons look like the better team. It's unfortunate for them how this has played out, with how they've kind of sold in clutch time. Yeah. But they've also stepped up. I mean, Game 2, Dennis Schroeder stepped up.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this isn't like a game or a series that the Pistons really need to use to win, to keep like their rebuild going. I think this is a step in the right direction. They've already made the playoffs, and they're playing great basketball in the playoffs. I think
exactly. I agree.
That's what's better for this team. Kind of moving in that direction. But even just like them playing that grit and grind basketball, they only lost in Game 3 by 2 points. Cade's been playing really well, but you just getting outplayed by Jalen Brunson, who is now the clutch player of the year. We found out yesterday.
Absolutely deserving. Yeah, absolutely deserving.
So, like, obviously that Knicks team you should be winning these games. So I don't think it's more on the Pistons aren't playing well. Or, sorry, I think it's more on the pressure's more on the Knicks to win the series than the Pistons, but the Pistons have been really pushing to try to get this series win. And obviously, Game 4 is a big one. They're down 2-1 at home. And one of the other things that we've been talking about for a while about these playoffs is playoff atmosphere. And Detroit really brought it last night. I mean, you didn't get to watch the game, but I watched the game, and boy, was that game like that arena's bumping. Detroit is on the up and coming in sports, so they're hype. Jahmyr Gibbs had the game. They're hype. They haven't had a real meaningful playoff series there since 2009, when they had like, maybe not even 2009, maybe it was like 2004 when they had like Ben Wallace and Rip Hamilton and Chauncey Billups and those guys when they won the chip, or was getting close to the chip. And they were bumping last night. And it's just two fan bases that deservingly have been through basketball hell in the recent years, that are deserving of these big name games and storylines. So shout out to the Pistons for bringing the energy last night. But again, you said it, like guys like Dennis Schroeder and guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. really came to play last night when Malik Beasley wasn't hitting shots and all those kind of things. But I mean, the Pistons it's grit and grind. I was telling you, because you didn't watch the game, but it was like 3 minutes into the game, and they were already scuffling. They were already going at it, and that's what behind this. This is without Isaiah Stewart. So
yeah,
when Isaiah Stewart comes back for Game 4, that boy's gonna go at it.
Anyways, on to the Western Conference's big series right now. Sure. On to the talk of the town, Warriors Rockets. What did you think of Game 3?
That game, well, we're going to talk about the game. Well, we're going to talk about all of it, I guess. The Rockets came to play. I think.
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah. That's
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I want to talk about Jalen Green. I mean, I was criticizing like crazy last episode. I was talking crazy, but I think I was absolutely right, because we saw how good this Rockets team plays when Jalen Green is hitting his shots. It's just Jalen Green is I'm still right. Jalen Green has not progressed since his rookie year. This is always the player he's been, and they're so special whenever he's consistently making shots, and that's why I really think the Rockets could use from getting somebody who's more consistent, who's a better playmaker, who's a better ball handler.
Yeah, I mean,
but still, when Jalen Green's hitting shots, this Rockets team is elite. They're so good.
If he can knock you said it. If he can knock down the shots, they're gonna be good. I completely agree with you, but it goes back to the consistency, which we've been talking about for the past couple years with him and stuff like that. But I mean, just the Rockets in general, they needed that win. Obviously, the Warriors didn't need to win, but they came to play too, and that was a really intense fight and battle there. And the Rockets, shout out to them, they really came to play. I don't know how many times I can emphasize that they really stepped up. Obviously, Jalen Green had 8 threes that ties a Rockets playoff record for threes made in a playoff game. I think it has Harden, so that's a good company to be in. And now they go back to Chase Center, which when talking about playoff atmosphere, Chase Center in the playoffs isn't the same as it was at Oracle. So the Rockets have a lot of history playing the Warriors in the Bay, just not at Chase Center. So I think they can definitely step up. Obviously, led by their veteran leadership in Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks, who are going to give you that energy and kind of intensity that you need when you go to play the Warriors in the playoffs, especially no matter where they play. But I mean, just game 2 alone, they really came to play, and I'm really looking forward to these next few games. And then obviously one of the other plays, I know we have our thoughts on it, the Amen Thompson, Jimmy Butler game or incident where we don't know if Jimmy Butler's going to play tomorrow. He's doubtful.
He's doubtful. I don't think he
Uh,
plays. Usually
yeah,
doubtful this time rate, this time frame means he's not going to play.
yeah. He's also the injury that they noted him for is something of like a pelvic contusion. There's a lot of
Contusion,
words in
yeah.
there, which is like a little more concerning than you'd think. There was like 4 different terms in there that I had to look up, but that's a little bit of a concern. Obviously, the Warriors looked a little flat without him, and then obviously the Rockets just cooked them on defense with more intensity, and that goes to show. Like, I mean, the Warriors really kind of need Jimmy Butler just to alleviate some of the pressure that Steph didn't have because when Steph was on the bench, which he obviously he's not going to play the whole game. He's a little tired. He's 37 years old. He's going to be on the bench. And in those games, the Warriors kind of just like didn't play at their standard. You had guys like Brandon Pajemski who couldn't hit a shot. Um, Moses Moody really couldn't hit and get going. Quentin Post couldn't really get going. Pat Spencer was playing a game. I think they had like 12 guys in the rotation that played in the game before halftime. So I think that's something that Steve Kerr needs to figure out going to game 3, and that's something to keep an eye on, obviously. But going back to the incident, what are your thoughts on the incident that got Butler injured?
I don't think it was intentional from Amen. I mean, I think Amen's kind of getting the dirty player labels because he's had some dirty plays in the past, but I don't really think this was a dirty play. I think he kind of got tripped by Draymond is what it looked like. I don't think Draymond necessarily pushed him, but do think he got tripped by Draymond, and I think it's unfortunate that Jimmy was in the air at that point. I mean, that's just a tough break for the Warriors, but the Warriors have gotten tough breaks in the past to go for them. So I mean,
Yeah, I
you
think
win some, you lose some.
I think what I told you is kind of how I think is like Amen kind of got contact from Draymond, kind of tried to sell it because it looked like he thought he was going to try to go for the rebound. I think he thought Butler already got rid of the shot, so he was trying to go for the rebound. Um, and then kind of like got bumped by Draymond, kind of sell the contact from him. And it was unfortunate that Butler was in the air, like right there. It kind of like went into him, and then obviously Butler came down, no brace, just right on his back. So that's unfortunate, but I don't think Amen should get the dirty player look for that. I think it's just a really unlucky and unfortunate, just wrong place, wrong time. And yeah, you can get mad at him for flopping a little bit, but there's no dirty intention of like, oh, I'm flopping into Jimmy Butler who's in midair. Like
Yeah, I
anything
don't
like
think
that.
he was trying to like cut block Jimmy Butler or anything,
Yeah.
but this game was chippy from start to finish. I
Oh,
mean, we even saw like what was it? Pat Spencer and the men get into it at some
yeah.
point. We saw Draymond and Fred VanVleet get into it. I mean, I'm
There was
excited for this series. I'm really excited for the series.
there was a scuffle towards the end of one. It was like one of the timeouts that they called, and they got into it, and somebody like threw a towel. Like I was like, damn, like why the fuck would you throw a towel? Just go and throw hands, I guess. But
Nah, this is proper basketball, bro. This
oh,
is
I
this is
know
what we live for.
it's so
Warriors
exciting.
Rockets is what I live for. I live
Oh,
for
for
Warriors
sure,
Rockets.
right? And then the other game tonight, or other
That night.
that night was Celtics Magic. Was that Celtics Magic
Oh, I
ended
thought yeah, it was
one
that one,
possession?
and then you had Heat Cavs, but I thought you were gonna.
I was just gonna talk about the games that we're gonna go on tonight. Was there games tonight? There's only 2, right?
Uh,
Lakers Wolves, Celtics Magic.
Pacers Bucks is today as well.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, you want to talk about? I mean, Heat
I was
Cavs.
going to talk about Heat Cavs just because that game was closer than expected. I mean, it was a 2
Oh
point
yeah,
game down the stretch, and more so, the big storyline of the game is I wanted to talk about what was said afterwards, and I wanted to get your opinions on. Did you see the Darius Garland post game interview?
was it the one where he said? Uh, I saw it. I just don't remember what he said.
He was saying he got asked on their game plan. He said their game plan was to attack Tyler Hero, which
Oh
I thought was very interesting because I mean it's like do you not know the Heat's game plan as well as to attack you? I mean
yeah,
it's very interesting. I love DG, but he's one of my favorite players in the league. But he is a defensive liability, and the Heat have been trying to go at him all series.
yeah. They. I just watching the highlights. They've switched Hero onto him on the wing because Hero can get you a bucket off the dribble on the 3 point line and the mid range, and they've been trying to switch him with using Struess as a not Struess, because Struess is the main guarder of Hero. They use like who's the other guy on the wing? Is it Wiggins that's guarding? I don't know, somebody, but they're just trying to switch him on, and it's kind of funny. I mean, that kind of gives up a little, or that gives us a little bit of like a storyline kind of thing going
Yeah,
forward.
no, I mean, yeah,
Garland versus Hero, because I mean,
it's
Garland's
interesting. They're both getting hunted.
no, I
They're
know
both getting
Garland's gonna get
hunted.
his own on offense, and Hero's gonna get his own on offense. So that's gonna be a little bit interesting. But again, I don't really care about Cavs Heat. I mean, I think Cavs are gonna win the series.
Cavs are going to win the series. I just thought it was a bit interesting because of that post game comment and it being
Yeah,
a
yeah,
2 point
definitely.
game down the stretch. But yeah, you got any takeaways from Celtics Magic? I mean, no
Just the
Celtics
Tatum
without
injuries.
the anomaly.
Yeah, just the Tatum injuries is very concerning right now. Just because of how the Magic played in Boston in Game Two, almost like they almost even the series up. I'm not gonna lie, they held their own against the Celtic squad. But I mean, this kind of goes back to how the Thunder are playing. The Celtics don't need Tatum to win the game. They have Jalen Brown, who's a Finals MVP right now. They have Derek White. They have Drew Holiday on defense, and they have Chris Porzingis who's a stress big, and they have Payne Pritchard and guys off the bench who can get you a bucket. Um, and so, I mean, I don't think that the Magic are going to really necessarily win the series, but Game Three is intriguing because if they can get one in Game Three, that's the game that they have to win at home. Obviously, going down 2-0, going back home, Game
Yeah,
Three is the one that they have to have, and that starts in only about 20 something minutes, 30 minutes. That's the game that they
yeah,
have to have, and so obviously without Tatum, and you saw how the Celtics performed at home. The Magic now, not saying the pressure is really on them because I don't think anybody picked them to win the series, but if you want to get yourself back in it, then you got to win this game, and this is their perfect chance to do so with Tatum still out. That's my take on it.
yeah.
I don't
No,
think there's
and
really much more.
there's not much more to that. I mean, KCP had an absolute stinker in that game.
Yeah,
I just I wonder what the Magic's future looks like. I'm interested to see what they do this offseason.
yeah. I want to see if.
I mean, they
Oh,
have a lot of assets. They still have all their picks, so they can really be in line to make a big move.
I don't know if you saw it, but breaking. Tatum is playing tonight.
Oh, well, that's serious.
Yeah, just Holiday is the one that's out right now. Tatum and Brown are playing in Game Three. Because I remember it was doubtful, and I forgot. Wow, it's like really coming up, so they had to make a decision now.
Yeah, no.
He is playing, so
Okay.
yeah, never mind. Magic, bye bye. Your Magic
Yeah,
run
so
out.
sorry, Magic. I mean, yeah.
But Bankero's looking really good. I mean, he's that playoff performer that you always thought he was going to be.
He
So
is.
he's looking good. So just look forward to next year, I guess. Another game. Uh, two more series to look at. Bucks Pacers. That game three.
Oh
Or game
my
two was
God.
nuts.
Bucks Pacers, don't get me started, bro. I love that series. I mean, the Pacers are taking the series right now. I think they're going to take the series, but bro, bring back hatred in the NBA. I love this. I love Dame versus Hallie. I love it. Bring back more trash talk, bro. Bring back more players that actually like hate each other, bro. Like
Yeah.
people talk about like not liking Tyrese Halliburton because he's always front running or he's always doing something, but like, bro, I love Tyrese Halliburton. He always has something to say. He always has something going on.
Yeah, I
Like
love Hallie.
he's a cool like I love Hallie, bro.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it last time how Dame's going to play in game two, but it's not the game that he needs to perform in. I think that's just to get his feet in the water in the series and kind of get his reps in. And now going back to game three today in Milwaukee, I think this is his time. I mean, he's going to point to his wrist a couple times a day, I think so. And that's what I love to see. And obviously, it's not just Dame and Giannis right now. Guys like Bobby Portis had his career game high last game, or tied his
He,
game
he
high.
he kept them in the game. He's the one who brought them back into that game. I mean,
Exactly.
shout out Andrew Nimhard for closing it out for the Pacers. That was an
Yeah.
amazing job from him. I mean, the Bucks have been playing drop on Nimhard and Hallie, and like that's I don't like
Scary,
it.
but
I don't like it.
They haven't been. It's only
They haven't been shooting lights out, but I feel like it opens up
the.
the floor so much for Hallie. I don't know.
Yeah, but obviously that opens it up for guys like Siakam to make your difference.
Yeah.
Because
And Siakam's been running at whoever's in front of him as long as it's not Giannis. I mean,
yeah. So getting that switch on from Giannis or off of Giannis, I think that's going to be key for him. And I mean, the Pacers have been playing really good basketball.
I mean, it was interesting. Obviously, coming off the terrible first game, but Kyle Kuzma had a run in the third quarter. He kept the Bucks in the game at some points.
So I mean, the Pacers just are, playing good basketball, but the Bucks aren't playing far off them, and obviously the court or the city is switching now, so they're going back to Milwaukee. I expect something big out of Dame and Giannis. Giannis has been playing fucking amazing. Obviously,
win it for Cream City.
Win it for Green City.
Or whatever those shirts say. Do it for Cream City.
Exactly. And then obviously, I mean, save the best for
You
last,
wanna
I guess.
Wrap up Lakers Timberwolves.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go on.
What's your takes?
Right here. I mean, obviously, game one, we talked about it last episode. A little bit of a dud, obviously. The Timberwolves shot 21 of 43 from three. That's not going to be a productive thing to keep up. And you saw it in game two. I mean, the Timberwolves only had 5 3-pointers made, and that's not something that's going to be continuous. Obviously, you're not going to make 21 threes a game, but you're also not going to make 5. So that's something that's going to median out. It's going to be about, I don't know, tonight probably like 11 to 12 threes in this game. But I think JJ Redick itself, I think, is the X factor in this game. It's not a player. It's JJ Redick and the coaching staff of the Lakers to minimize how many threes they can make, because in game two, they didn't miss threes because of our defense. They missed threes just because they couldn't fucking hit shots, which is just obviously they didn't make threes, so it's not like it's like whatever. But like they couldn't hit threes, but they were open and good looks. So the Timberwolves offense is flowing in a really good way right now. That's what I'm scared for as a Lakers fan. And the fact that they didn't need to win game two, but we were up 20, and then they kind of clawed back. Scared me a little bit. Then also guys like Julius Randle, who we're talking about as one of the biggest playoff droppers. I'm still trying to wait for that drop because it has not happened yet. He dropped 31.
Oh, it'll happen. It'll happen. Trust. It'll happen.
So, man, but he's been cooking.
It'll happen.
But then the big thing I think is what people are looking at and kind of hyping up is the switching on Rudy Gobert, where you're trying to get Luka and Reeves onto a switch on Gobert. I hate it because it slows the game down. I think the Lakers are best when they're playing at their pace, and it's a dynamic of high transition and high offensive sets, and a mix of slowing it down with Luka and somebody like Reeves. But when you're going at Luka and trying to get the switch on Gobert every single possession, it's not sustainable because you're not going to get a good look, and you're going to play into the Timberwolves' hand where they know that you're going to try to get the switch now. They know you're going to try to switch onto Gobert, so why not just try to overload that side and try to play at their pace? So it's interesting, and obviously going back to the playoff atmosphere, Minnesota is one of the best playoff atmospheres in the league right now, man. And
I'm really interested to see if that has an effect on
Yeah.
the series. I'm really excited to see how these next two games look.
Yeah, but obviously, Luka hasn't lost a game there in the past couple
Obviously,
years.
I mean, he's the best
So-
playoff performer in the league right now.
Yeah.
Arguably.
Yeah, he hasn't lost a game there, so that's interesting to see. Luka knows a lot about that arena from last playoffs too. But I think one of the things is definitely to look at how guys like Naz Reid perform, because in game one he was shooting lights out, and guys like Dante DiVincenzo, and they got into some early foul trouble there. And then obviously I'm gonna go back to the role players on either side. So Naz Reid, Jaden McDaniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and DiVincenzo for Minnesota. They didn't really perform to how they played in game one, which is kind of how they hindered them in game two. But on the Lakers side, guys like Jared Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura, Vanderbilt was a menace on defense. That's what you always need from him. But when he was a primary defender on Edwards, he got under Edwards' skin, and you definitely saw it in game two. So that's something that you got to look out for if Edwards can keep his cool. And I think this is going to get a little bit chippy tonight, and I'm all here for it. Honestly, I'm here for it. But this is the game that's the most one for the Lakers. If you go down 2-1 now, momentum is going to be so far in the Timberwolves side that you might go down back home to LA down 3-1. So this is the game that you have to have tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited for this game. But moving on, you ready for draft them?
I am. I am ready for draft him, and obviously we've been talking about it all episode. Our drafting topic is what is it, Zach?
Playoff atmospheres.
Yeah, Starsky. Let's get it. So,
I'll let you want first pick. I'll go. I'll go after. We'll bounce off.
well, let's give a premise first. Like, we're not doing just like as a team. We're talking about a certain era. So, like,
Oh yeah, we do eras.
like for example, like blank year to blank year, this team, that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So, with my first pick, I'm going to take the 96 to 98 Bulls.
I can't hate, but you gave me like two layups, bro. You gave me two layups.
Well, I can't.
I'm not
take
gonna
that.
lie.
That's the thing. I know you can probably take the Thunder or some
Uh,
Rockets,
Fuck, I spelled it wrong.
Rockets.
No. I was trying to spell Oracle, but I'm taking Oracle. Obviously, there's no error needed there. Oracle has been it like year in and year out. It was consistently a great playoff atmosphere.
Yeah.
That place was basically hell on earth to go play if you were a visiting team.
Oh, I know.
So I have to go give Oracle, and then for my next pick, I'll go 2010 to present OKC.
Okay. I don't hate it.
They're
Obviously.
elite. They all wear their shirts. I mean, I love it. Yeah.
I am going to go with. Ooh, see, this is where it gets a little like I think those are usually like the top three of all time.
Well, those are my top two. I thought you were gonna pick. I thought you were gonna pick Oracle, and I was like, okay, well, if he picks Oracle, then I got OKC. If he picks OKC, then I got Oracle.
I kind of had a brain fart there, but at the same time, like 96, 98 United Center is kind of like
It was special.
like the iconic theme song that the Bulls always had an intro to is iconic. So just kind of mixing that in. With my second pick, I really want to go. See, that's the thing. I'm gonna go with 2003 to 2006 Detroit.
Okay, that's a great pick. I mean, shout out the Palace. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, with you had like the intro of like Ben Wallace and how ruckus that crowd was. They had the Final Countdown theme song at that point, which they actually brought back for Game 3. That was kind of sick. But 03-06 Detroit with like Billups, Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton. Those guys came to play all the time. And then my third pick. Ooh. I think I'd have to go like any era MSG. like
Yeah, I was really thinking about that. That was arguably my next pick.
I don't think you can pick any era, just anytime MSG.
You can't. You really can't. MSG is just it stands alone. It's its
Exactly.
own. It's a different beast.
Yeah, there's a reason.
So for me, my next two places. I mean, shout out Winning Time for really putting me on to these two places. But I'm going with TD. I'm going with TD Garden. And with my second pick, I'm going with the Forum. Any era, really.
Yeah, the Forum.
But yeah, those are my next two picks. Those are elite picks. I love it. All right. Yeah,
all right.
book it.
Oh shit. I don't know how recent I want to go with this one, but I'm gonna go with. See, this is like I want to say like this is its era in its own, but it's kind of like broken into two sections because they didn't make the playoffs for a second. It was like I'm gonna go with 2011 to 2014, and then like 2023 Miami.
Ooh.
With the whiteout crowds and all that.
Yeah.
That era was, oh my god, with LeBron and Bosh. And
You can say what you want about the crowds because they're very finicky. They're very plastic at times, but yeah, they've been decent.
When you went and played there, that shit was bumping every single time. Like that was a hellscape to play in.
They've been decent, so yeah, I'll give it to you.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to think of like another like really ruckus crowd. This one might be a little bit of a sleeper, honestly. But like 20. Oh, see, don't want to go there. I'm trying to like go through like all like the eras of like real quick. No, I got to do it. I'm going 2000 and when they move in there, 2002. When it was called Staples Center.
Okay.
Not Crypto.
Yeah.
Not Crypto, not the Forum. When it was Staples Center, specifically, I'm gonna go with that. I think Kobe and Shaq played there for a season, and then obviously Kobe and Powell really ran that shit. But Kobe always brought the heat, and the Lakers always brought the energy there. So I mean, obviously, I'm gonna go with my team, the Lakers, Staples Center.
All right. I'm that trying not to be biased here, but obviously
Nah,
I gotta show out for this. Show San Antonio some love. I love our playoff atmosphere.
yeah.
I don't know if I want to put an era on it necessarily because they were great at the Alamo Dome. They were great at the AT&T Center. Obviously, they haven't experienced anything with Frost Bank, but yeah, no.
In my opinion, I think AT&T's one of the better playoff atmospheres. I think every time they
Prime AT&T was special. I'm just going to put AT&T because we didn't play for too long in the Alamo Dome. We didn't have too much playoff success in the Alamo Dome, but it was very special. It will always have a special place in my heart, even though I didn't watch championship there. I have watched my team. I have watched my team play there. So I mean,
are there any?
Kind
of miss? I was thinking
one of my better. One of the UDFA's I was thinking about. I was crazy to use UDFA in this sense, but like I was really thinking about. I didn't pick it because it was modern, but Minnesota has had a great job in the playoffs. They wear their shirts, they show up. Indiana's another underrated one.
Yeah, but I was gonna say Indiana, but I was thinking more of like 2014 with Paul George.
Yeah, no. I was gonna say like two eras, like from then to now. They've always shown up for their crowds. I mean, they show up for the Fever too. So I love Indiana basketball. It's awesome.
I think one of the more underrated ones is like 2000s Orlando.
I was literally gonna give Orlando a shout. Yeah, no, Orlando's deserving of a shout as well.
Yeah,
I mean, 19 Toronto. They were big during that playoff run. I mean,
2021 Milwaukee was pretty big during that playoff run too.
But 19 Toronto is different though. When you had Drake courtside, counting down on Giannis.
Yeah.
Whispering in Nick Nurse's ear. I mean,
yeah, like LeBron Cleveland. Anytime LeBron was there, like damn. Like I always think of that one play where they had a camera all over the nosebleeds where he beat Detroit on a game winner in 08, 07. I think it was 07. I think another one that you can go to is 2011 Dallas. That year with Dirk won the championship. And then I might get some hate for this, but the Lob City Clippers when they had playoff games there too.
Yeah.
I feel like every team has had an era where they had really good. I mean,
playoff atmosphere. Yeah.
Unlike the Hornets, though, that's the only team probably never had, or the Pelicans.
But they haven't had very many successful successful eras at all, so they haven't really been given a chance to show out. So
when I was thinking of the Miami pick, I almost went with like Dame Time or Portland.
Yeah,
I feel like that was an underrated one too. I don't know, but I feel like this is a pretty even draft. I really like this one. This is a fun one.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
But yeah, we'll be back with y'all. Hopefully on Tuesday, unless there's any
unforeseen circumstances. I mean,
but we'll be back on with y'all next week. Next week will be our last time before the end of the year, so we might take a week break after that. But this has been the Pick and Roll Podcast. I'm Cole Frere. That's at the Rosick. We sign out here.
Peace
out, y'all. Happy playoffs. Enjoy them if your team's still in it. Bye.